Woo! What's going on, guys? How's it going? Orange Form coming at you guys today with another video. And today's video is the aftermath. Last game of the season, Week 18. Detroit Lions going up to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. Big win for the Detroit Lions. They win 20-16. The Lions going up to 9-8 on the year, ending the year second in the NFC North. And the Green Bay Packers falling to 8-9, third in the NFC North. Big game, 20-16, like I said. If you guys don't know, I'm sure you do, but earlier in the day, we needed the LA Rams to beat the Seattle Seahawks. It was a really good game. Kind of sloppy back and forth, some turnovers here and there, and it wasn't one of those like an exciting game to watch where it was high scoring or anything like that. But it was a very close game. The Rams almost pulled it off. They ended up losing the game. That ended up kicking us out of the playoffs, keeping Seattle in it, and then we needed to go up to Green Bay to beat them in order to knock the Packers out and keep Seattle in the mix. So Seattle stays in the mix, and Packers are out, and we are out, unfortunately. But it was ours was a good game. They knew their fate. I read something about Dan Campbell saying they knew their fate during warm-ups or as they were going in and out of the club, off the field and back into the locker rooms. They kind of knew their fate going into this, that they weren't getting into the playoffs. And Dan Campbell said that they were completely unfazed. They were there to do one job, and that was to beat the Green Bay Packers, and that's what they did. Now the stats, we start off with the away team. We were the away team. Detroit Lions quarterback Jared Goff, he was 23 for 34 for 234 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks, 0 fumbles. He held on to the ball again. He was sacked one time, completing 67% of his passes. A little bit sloppy at the beginning of the game for, pretty much the first half. Even for both teams, there wasn't much going on. Just I think there was 3-4 field goals that were kicked in that first half. But Goff, he had a nice completion percentage, but he didn't do a lot. But what he did really well was he held on to the football, and he didn't throw any picks or anything like that. Didn't fumble anything. So he did his job, man. What he's been doing for the past over 2 months. So he did do his job there. And then running back Jamal Williams was 16 for 72 yards. For 2 touchdowns. He was on a 4.5% yards per carry. Not a percent, but a 4.5 yards per carry. And then running back DeAndre Swift was 6 carries for 25 yards, 4.2 yards per carry as well. He had over 104 yards as a complete unit. There was a couple guys in there with some carries as well. Receiving wise, wide receiver Khalif Raymond led the pack. His 4 catches for 66 yards on 6 targets. Running back DeAndre Swift had a nice day catching the ball. He had 7 catches for 61 yards on 7 targets. Wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown had 6 catches for 49 yards on 9 targets. And then wide receiver DJ Chark had 3 catches for 14 yards on 4 targets. Had a huge catch at the end of the game too. And hopefully I remember to talk about that as well. Defensively, cornerback Mike Hughes had 7 tackles. Okuda was out this game, so I thought Hughes would get some more playing time, and he did. Linebacker Alex Anzalone had 8 tackles, had a really nice tackle for loss, too. Made a couple nice plays at the linebacker position. Safety Kirby Joseph, 5 tackles and a huge pick. The rookie, the kid out of Illinois, picked off Aaron Rodgers again. That was his third pick of the year against Aaron Rodgers. He had one earlier in the day, too, but it was called back. It was called back. He would have had 4, but he's got 3 against Aaron Rodgers, and it was a big one. It was a game clincher, pretty much. And then cornerback Jerry Jacobs had 5 tackles. Defensive end Aiden Hutchinson had 4 tackles and 2 sacks. I personally think he cemented his Defensive Rookie of the Year status with that game. It's just, I'm not trying to be a homer or trying to be biased or anything like that, but he was a man possessed. He was causing pressure. He had a couple big sacks. So I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to win that Defensive Rookie of the Year. And then defensive lineman John Kaminsky had 4 tackles and 1 forced fumble too. Kaminsky's been nothing but a godsend since he's been here, and just a really good football player. And then the Packers stats, quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he was 17 for 27, 205 yards. He had a touchdown. He did get intercepted, like I said, against Kirby Joseph, and he was sacked twice by Aiden Hutchinson. He completed 62% of his passes. He didn't do much either. He had a couple nice balls, but nothing special. He didn't really do anything. And then rushing the ball, what I wanted the Lions to do, I wanted them to hold that run down, and they did. Running back Aaron Jones had 12 carries for 48 yards and a fumble lost at 4 yards per carry. And then running back A.J. Dillon had only 9 carries for 33 yards at a 3.7 yards per carry as well. They shut the run down, the Detroit defense. Detroit defense showed up this game. They 100% showed up. They did what they were supposed to do. They played balls out. And then receiving for the Green Bay Packers, wide receiver Christian Watson, the rookie, had 5 catches for 104 yards on 6 targets. Had a nice, really long ball catch, really good concentration catch. The kid's going to be good, man. We're going to be facing that kid for years to come. He's going to be special, I think. Wide receiver Alan Lazard had 4 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown on 6 targets. And then tight end Robert Tonyan had 3 catches for 29 yards on 3 targets. Not a whole bunch happened in the aerial attack for the Green Bay Packers, which is good. And like I said, we held them down. And then defensively for them, safety Darnell Savage had 11 tackles. Linebacker Quay Walker, the rookie, had 7 tackles, got himself booted out of the football game too as well on a really stupid penalty, pushing a Detroit Lions trainer. That was his second offense of the year too. He did it earlier against the Buffalo Bills. He pushed like a practice squad tight end guy or a coach. I forget what he did, but he that's his second offense of the year. So he's gonna be getting hit in the wallet. And then safety Adrian Amos had 6 tackles, and then linebacker Devondre Campbell had 7 tackles. Cornerback Rasul Douglas had 5 tackles, and then defensive lineman, the rookie Devontae Wyatt, another kid out of Georgia. He had a tackle and a sack. He had a forced fumble, but the Lions ended up getting that ball back. But he had a pretty decent game with the sack, anyways. So let's talk this Lions O versus this Packers D. This was like I said, this was a defensive game. This was pretty much a defensive game, 20-16. You're not gonna hear a lot of offense going around. It was really nice what Jamal Williams did though, getting in the end zone twice, breaking Barry Sanders' record of 16 touchdowns. He ended up getting 17. He ended up getting 17 touchdowns, Jamal Williams, so broke his single season record, and he ended up getting over 1,000 yards first time in his career. And he was very emotional after the game, and he lost his great grandfather. Very emotional kid, team leader. I love this kid. It sounds to me like he's coming back. When you hear him talk, it just sounds to me like he's coming back. No word yet. We'll know maybe in a little bit afterwards, when they start doing signings again. I think teams can sign their guys, the players they have on the squad already, I think immediately. I think that's how it works. So if I can remember, they can deal with their own guys right away. But it just sounds like he's coming back. But back to the offense. The offense was, it was boring. Goff didn't look sharp in the first half. He had a couple WTF balls that I thought, and this is no shot on him, man. I just thought it took him a while to get warmed up. He got better as the game went along. He didn't look sharp in the first half. He was throwing balls to the left, throwing balls at players' feet. He just didn't look sharp. He just didn't look sharp. And then as he warmed up, he got a little bit better and he got a little bit more accurate. But there wasn't a lot to talk about in this game offensively for us. We ran the ball decently, over 100 and something yards as a unit. Williams had a nice day on the ground, 70 plus yards, couple scores. Nobody really balled out in the aerial attack. Khalif Raymond did have a long ball thrown to him by Jared Goff. That was actually a nice ball. It was about a 43-yard, I think, catch. It was almost a touchdown. He fell right at the 1 or 2 yard line. Khalif Raymond, it was a good concentration catch too. He's pretty much peeking over his shoulder. Good throw, good catch, good concentration on Khalif. And then they ended up punching it in for a touchdown. But like I said, not a lot to talk about offensively. They didn't do much. They didn't do much offensively, and that's okay because their defense showed up. Now let's talk the Lions defense versus the Packers. Oh, same kind of deal, like right. It was a defensive game. Our defense showed up. We pressured Rodgers all day. We absolutely stymied their running attack, which was very, very good and a little surprising. Actually, a little surprising because that O-line in Green Bay is the real deal. But this defense of the Detroit Lions showed up. They manhandled that O-line. You know, they got some pressure on them. They only got to Rodgers twice in the sack department, but they pressured him. They didn't throw some balls. Even on that interception, Alex Anzalone on a nice delayed blitz came in, got in Rodgers' face. Rodgers just threw it up for grabs, and Kirby Joseph, being the ball hawk that he is, just sat right under it and just picked it off. It was an easy pickings. You know, it was a great defensive effort by the Detroit Lions, stopping the run and stopping Aaron Rodgers. My whole plan that I wish that they would have went through was stymie the run, which they did, and then, to be honest with you, make Aaron Rodgers throw. You know, something that you never want to hear is like, oh, as a defense, you want to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the football. You know, that's no disrespect to Aaron Rodgers because I think he's still one of the best, but he was banged up coming into this game with that right thumb. He's got that bad right knee. He's older. He's 38, 39 years old. You know, they were winning ball games 4 or 5 in a row, but it wasn't because of him. It was because of the run game and because of the defense that the Green Bay Packers were playing. And we shut them all out. We played a complete game. Stopped them from going to the playoffs, and we weren't going to the playoffs. That's okay. You know, this is NFC North. It's a black and blue division football game. You know, Dan Campbell had these boys ready. And a lot of people say, well, we had nothing to play for. That's BS. We had everything to play for. Because across the way, LaFleur and Rodgers, they had something to play for. They all had something to play for. That was to get in that playoff picture. And you never know what happens after that, right? And we stopped that. You know, we didn't get in the playoffs, but it didn't matter. We went out and did our job, and it was a great game. So, you know, it was just a good all-around game, winning 20-16. Season over. No playoffs again. This is my 3rd year in a row doing YouTube. I believe this is my 3rd year doing YouTube, I think. You know, haven't been in the playoffs yet. We were this close. We're very close. Just needed the Rams to win. Didn't happen. Oh, well. On to 2023. That's next on the docket. So, you know, the season's over. Guys, the season's over, but it doesn't mean that this channel's done. The channel's never done. You know, I'm going to start getting into some grades. I don't know how I'm going to really do it. I might not do a grades. I might just do studs or duds. I might do grades. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to talk about some negative points on the season, some positive points on the season. It's all going to be all chopped up into individual videos. All I'm thinking about what I'm going to be doing. And then I'm going to start hitting drafts. And then I'm going to start hitting the draft. I'm going to start looking at film. I'm going to start trying to catch up on that because I got a ton of film to watch about some of the players that are coming up in the 2023 draft. So I got lots of stuff on the docket, guys. Lots of stuff on the schedule coming up for us to talk about. But this was the last game, and we went out with a bang. So good game by the Detroit Lions, 20-16 over Green Bay Packers. Lions 5-1 in the division, 5-1. 2023 is our year. You know, we'll talk about that too. We'll talk about the schedule coming up. The schedule just came out, and I think it looks really favorable. Now, I'm just looking at it right now, and I'll give you a little sneak peek preview of what I think. I'm not going to say any team names just yet, but I'm seeing 11, 12 wins already, and that's before additions, subtractions of us, of any team that we're going up against. So I want that to start getting a little bit of a mixture in too. I want to see those teams start adding and subtracting and see where they're at, and then I can make an honest report. But off the top of my head, just looking at that schedule, there's some tough games on there. You got the Chargers on there, you got the Chiefs on there. You know, we got Carolina again, a little bit of a revenge game. And obviously we got the black and blue division with the Packers and the Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. And there's some other teams mixed in there, and we'll talk about that. But that's the video, guys. 2022 is a wrap for the season. but it's not a wrap for Orem's channel. It's not a wrap for this channel. So Mark Orem's Forum, still going strong. We'll be doing some videos down the line, and I got a couple good ideas. But thanks a lot, guys. Congratulations to the Detroit Lions, a winning season, at least 9-8, going out on a bang. One goal though was to win a Super Bowl, and that didn't happen. But we are building. It's called progress. So good job, guys. Thanks a lot. Thanks for paying attention. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell on the top right. Get all my videos. Don't forget to like, comment, share this out. What do you guys think, guys? The season's done. A little bit of a heartbreak, but we went out on a big note, winning at least the last 8 games out of 10. Good job, Detroit Lions. Boom, one pride. Go Lions, baby.